So here we go. Kamala Harris might be facing the political fight of her life. Her latest moves to eliminate the Senate filibuster, all for federal abortion rights, are backfiring. What's worse? Even her own party isn't on board with this radical craziness that she's talking about. We'll break down what this means for her 2024 chances while Trump is surging in the polls. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and smack the like button because it helps us out with the algorithm. Now, tomorrow night, like we do every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a live stream where we read news stories of the week. We tweak them with a bit of humor, a dash of sarcasm, and a whole lot of conservative sense. I hope to see you tomorrow night. All right. So Kamala Harris is trying to shake things up by calling for the elimination of the Senate filibuster just to pass federal abortion rights legislation. That sounds pretty bold, right? But here's the thing, guys. It's not going over well. In fact, it's backfiring big time, even with Democrats. Senators Joe Manchin, who I know is an independent, but he caucuses with the Democrats, and Arizona's Kyrsten Sinema. Yeah, they're not having it. They've openly disagreed with Harris's proposal, and when your own party starts turning on you, it's like you know things are headed south. So why is Harris so desperate? We'll get into that. But things get worse. The power to eliminate the filibuster, that's in the Congress's hands, not the vice president or a president's hands.
Now to abortion, you've said you want to work with Congress to pass a federal bill to codify abortion rights. How do you plan to get enough support in Congress to restore abortion rights when you'd likely need to pass a Senate filibuster? You'd have potential legal hurdles.
Because we need the votes in Congress to do exactly what you are saying, and that's true. And it is well within our reach. That being said, I've been very clear. I think we should eliminate the filibuster for Roe.
Yet here we are, watching Harris throw out unrealistic ideas. I mean, she was in the Senate, wasn't she? She should know this. It's almost as if she's detached from legislative reality. But could this political miscalculation cost her even more than just a few party allies? Oh, you betcha. Now, here's something that'll blow a lot of people's minds because they're not thinking about it. The U.S. Supreme Court in the Dobbs case basically told the federal government that it has absolutely no role in abortion. The Constitution's enumerated powers don't include it. Yet Harris is still pushing for something the Supreme Court has already shot down. This isn't just a mishap, guys. It's a full-on train wreck. All right, so I know that a lot of guys that come here every day, you already know this. But for people that just don't realize it because of the failure of the government public school system, I want to point out that the U.S. Supreme Court, in its ruling on the Dobbs case that repealed the Roe v. Wade decision from 1973, told the government it had no role. In the U.S. Constitution, under Article 1, Section 8, we have what is known as the enumerated powers. Now, these are the powers that the federal government got when the Constitution was finally ratified. They are powers that the states cannot have authority over. Under the 10th Amendment, any powers not listed in the enumerated powers belong to the states and the people respectively. This means that if Article 1, Section 8 does not mention a power that the federal government wants to exercise, that power automatically belongs to the states, even powers that weren't yet thought up. This is the honest truth about the Constitution that liberal Democrats seem to forget or just ignore. The Constitution has an amendment process as well that simply says, if the federal government wants to take a specific power away from the states, well, guess what, buddy? It has to ask the states for permission in the form of an amendment. Now, lest we forget that abortion does not appear in Article 1, Section 8's enumerated powers, nor in any amendment to the Constitution that has been passed since ratification. Therefore, it is, in my opinion, that Kamala Harris and any other politician making arguments about codifying abortion law in the federal system is a complete and utter waste of time because the Supreme Court already told Kamala and the entire federal government that they have no role in abortion. So polling data shows that Donald Trump is gaining momentum. Yeah, he is. Trump is leading Harris in key national polls, even in the ones that normally lean Democrat. So while Harris is fumbling, Trump is soaring. Could this be a sign of things to come? Let's hope. I mean, the writing is on the wall, guys. Now, check this out. Early voting trends from Virginia are another bad omen for Harris. In traditionally Republican districts, turnout has surged, with some areas seeing a 500% increase compared to 2020. First-time voters, they're showing up in droves, and guess who they're backing? Trump by overwhelming margins. If this trend continues, Harris's campaign might be in bigger trouble than we thought. So what does all this mean for Kamala Harris? Her campaign is struggling to maintain its footing, and every move she makes seems to push her further off course because she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She never did. The push to eliminate the filibuster instead of energizing her base may actually be driving voters away. With Trump gaining momentum and Republican voters showing up in record numbers, it's clear Harris is facing an uphill battle. Now, as we head into the final stretch before the 2024 elections, Kamala Harris's chances of success are looking really grim. Unless she can pull off a major turnaround, her campaign might continue to unravel. And with Trump riding a wave of enthusiasm, the outlook isn't good for the vice president. Now, let me say this. A recent study was done that shows that young men of voting age are more conservative than they normally are today. Not as conservative as young men were, say, in the year 2000, but they are much more conservative today than usual. Young men today are concerned about how they can get a good paying job and support a family in America. They're worried that the way the Biden-Harris regime has been running the country, their dream of being able to raise a family is withering away daily. Now, the same studies show that young women of voting age in this country today, the majority of them, not all, but the majority of them, care about one issue: abortion. And that's because the left has seized on the Dobbs decision, where it overturned Roe. And they have convinced these young women falsely, with misinformation and absolute disinformation, they have convinced them that a right was taken away from them. Well, it's not a right when you never had the right, but a court lied to you for 49 years. And so they've got them riled up, and they're voting just on abortion. Now, this is going to get me in trouble probably with a lot of people, but if you know that the Biden-Harris regime has destroyed our economy, has made things more expensive so that you are having trouble paying your bills, buying groceries, pumping gas, and you vote to double down on that over a single issue of abortion, then please don't vote. Don't vote, please. Save your country. Don't vote. Because your narcissism and your misunderstanding of states' rights versus federal government rights, that will cost all of us the America that we know. Because I don't think our country could handle another 4 years of what we just went through. I want you all to close your eyes right now. Go ahead, close your eyes. I want you to remember the images of those videos on 9/11 of the first tower that got hit. With it's smoking, it's on fire. You see the puffs of smoke billowing out. And then on the left-hand side of the screen, you see that second plane coming in. He's going to hit the building. Freeze frame that. So the first building is on fire with smoke pouring out of it. That was the Biden-Harris 4 years that we just went through. That second plane, that's Kamala. Would you ever vote for that second plane for any reason? I want you to think about that. All right. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to be kept up to date with the latest in politics and the plunging the Kamala Harris campaign. I'll see you in the next one. Spread the word.
With every step, I'm breaking through. No matter the fight, I know what to do. I'm coming, I'm making my way. You can't stop the truth on election day.